Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'd like to share with you how to crochet these little angels. I've done them in a size 10 crochet cotton and I've used a 1.75mm hook. Okay, to start we're going to make a magic circle. If you make the loop however you do, and for those of you who are not sure, this is the method I tend to use most often. I just make a little loop on my finger like so, and then pass my hook from the back to the front, yarn over, pull through, and then do one chain, and then I keep the yarn tail and the loop thread to the left and pinch that, and then we're going to do double crochets into this magic ring now. So to start off with, we make our first double crochet by doing 3 chains, and then go ahead and do 11 double crochets. This is US terminology today. In the UK these are trebles. So that's a total of 3 so far, including the 3 chains. 4, 5, and I'll meet you when you've completed your 12. Okay, so we should have our 12 double crochets now. So if we just count those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's looking like I may be 1 short. Let's just recount. There we go. Just let it come into focus. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes. Now we're going to close the magic circle by gently pulling on the tail end just to close it. Drop the tail end of the yarn at the back, and then look for your first chains you did, and just in the top chain do a slip stitch. Okay, and then into the next chain go ahead and do 2 single crochets. 1, 2, and if you're not quite sure that you'll remember where your first single crochet is, you can pop a little stitch marker just in there. Oh, there we are. So we know that's our very first single crochet, and in each stitch around now do 2 single crochets, and in the UK these are double. I should say in UK terminology they're double crochets. Okay, so 1, 2, and you do this all the way around in each stitch. 1, 2. You'll end up with 24 single crochets. Okay, so I'll meet you when you've worked your way round to the last stitch. So we're just about to pop 2 more single crochets in the very last stitch. 1 and then 2. Okay, now you just remove the stitch marker and then close this round with a slip stitch. And that's almost completed. What we're going to do now are a few single crochets. First of all, do 1 chain and then into the same stitch a single crochet, and then do a single crochet into the next one, and the next one, and finally into the 4th one there. And then just do 1 chain, snip the yarn and pull your yarn through. Because this has got a little bit of metallic thread in it, it can be a little tricky. Okay, so to close the ring, the magic ring or circle, just give a gentle pull on there. That will close it nicely. And then if you just weave in a little tail end, you can leave this as it is because we'll use that when we're going to attach the head to the body. Okay, so we'll just set this on one side and then we'll move on to doing some wings. Okay, so this is one of the little wings that we're going to make, and we'll make a total of 2 of these. I'll show you first of all how to make one, and then you can do the second one as you wish. Okay, so let's get started. To begin, start with a slip knot on your hook. And then chain 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once you've done the 17 chains, do a yarn over because we're going to do a double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to continue down the chain, working double crochets. So we'll have a total of 12 double crochets, but this will include the 3 chains at the beginning of the row. Okay, so just doing double crochets all the way down, and I'll meet you when you reach the 12th one. Okay, so just to count, we're counting this 3 chains at this end as a double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And we'll have 3 chains left. What we're going to do now is a half double crochet into the next chain, and that's a half treble in UK terminology. Then a single crochet into the next one, that's a double in UK, and then finally a slip stitch in the last chain. Okay, then turn your work, and where you've just done a slip stitch, pop another slip stitch just in there. Just get this little tail end out of the way. There we go. Just do a slip stitch again. And then in your single crochet here, do another single crochet, and then a half double crochet in the next stitch. And now we're going to do a total of 10 double crochets along the row. In each stitch we're doing 1 double crochet. Okay, so I'll meet you when you've finished your 10. I'll just do one more. Making sure you go under both loops, this yarn is splitting a little bit. Okay, so just do a total of 10 double crochets now. Okay, so on this row we've completed our 10 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then in the last, well, the 3 chains here, we did a half double, a single and a slip stitch. Okay, so now we're going to start on row 3. Turn your work and slip stitch straight into that first stitch. Also do a slip stitch in the second stitch and another slip stitch in the third stitch. And now we're going to work our way down the petal, and we're going to do a total of 8 double crochets, but our first double crochet is going to be represented with 3 chains. Okay, in the next stitch a double, is exactly like the other rounds apart from you're doing less double crochets. Get some more yarn. And just count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. And then a half double, a single, and then finally a slip stitch. And the slip stitch, I'll just get some more yarn. It's quite a big ball of yarn this I've got here. Right. Sometimes it can be a little bit fiddly to just identify that slip stitch. There it is. then just pull through, then turn your work, do a slip stitch back in there, and then do a single crochet, a half double. You think you're probably getting the idea now that it's the same at this end. And now we're going to do 6 double crochets. So you're reducing the double crochets by 2 on each row. I was going to say round. And when you block this angel, the wing out at the end, you get a little bit more definition. So that's the last 2 there. So this is going to be our final one. And we're almost on the final round now. Final row, I should say. So we turn our work, do a slip stitch directly into the top of that. It's just a little bit twisted, I'll go back. Okay. Slip stitch straight into that first stitch, into the second stitch, going under the 2 loops of the top of the stitch, and then into that third one along. Okay, so now we're going to do 3 chains, again representing a double crochet, into the next stitch, a double crochet, and we're doing a total of 3 double crochets, but our 3 chains will represent 1, so we'll have a total of 4. Just have a little look. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now a half double crochet into the half double crochet in the row below, and then a single crochet into the next stitch, and then finally a slip stitch in the final slip stitch, and then 1 chain, snip your work, sorry, snip, not your work, snip your yarn, and then pull your thread through, give it a little tug, and there you can see you've finished one of the little wings. So if you make 2, well, total of 2, if you just make 1 more, and then here's one I made earlier, and you can see they match up quite nicely. I had thought of joining them together like this and then laying the body on top, but it looks better if we do the body next and add the head and the body and just attach them with a couple of stitches. It doesn't take a lot of sewing together at all. Okay, so we'll start to look at the crocheting the body next. So here's the main body of the angel. It's worked in a little triangular shape, and we start off in the center here, And instead of doing like the granny squares, we're going to double crochet into each of the stitches, but in the corners we're going to do 4 double crochets, 2 chains and 4 double crochets. It only consists of 3 rounds and it does work up quite quickly. And then we're going to sew it all together and you'll have your little angel. Okay, off we go. So to start with, make a slip knot on your hook and do 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in the very first chain you made, insert your hook and do a double crochet. And then work another double crochet in the same chain. And 1 more double crochet in the same chain. And chain 2, 1, 2, 4 double crochets in the same chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 chains, 1, 2, and then another 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 2, 1, 2, and then find the first chains you made, and in the top chain, a little tip for doing this is to just insert your hook between your first double crochet in those chains. You'll see the top of your double crochet there. Just go into the chain next to it and do a slip stitch. So this is what your work will look like now. It's forming a little triangle. And these will be the corners of the triangle where the little spaces are. Okay, so that's round 1 done. For round 2, as we did before, we're going to have to chain 3 for our first double crochet, and then into the next stitch. It can look a little bit awkward, just go under the front loop and the back loop there and do another double crochet. In the next double crochet, a double crochet, and in the next one, another double crochet. Now you're actually at the corner, and we're going to fit a total of 8 double crochets in this corner with 2 chains between them. So we're doing 4 double crochets, 2 chains and 4 double crochets. And it is a tight squeeze, but it's quite effective. 1, 2, 3, 4. And don't forget I'm using a finer thread, so you may have to make allowances if you're using a thicker yarn. 2 chains and again 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and finally 4. Just ease them across slightly, and you'll see then your next double crochets here, and the top of that stitch is just to the right, so don't miss that one. When you come over to the corner here, the top of this stitch is here, so you're fine, so you just go straight into the space there. But on the way back, sorry, down this way, the top of the stitch is there. Okay, so I'll just unravel some more yarn because it doesn't unwind very easy, this ball. If I can just show you how massive it is. So there we go. Right, off we go. Okay, so we're ready now to do a double crochet into this stitch just here. And then into each stitch. Down the sides. I'll just show you one more corner because you can always replay the video if you need to work out how to do the corners. If you just check here, you've done your 4 there. Now we're going to do in the corner 4 doubles, 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. Ease them across to make space. Do your 2 chains for your corner, 1, 2, and then your 4, 1, 4 double crochets, 2, 3, and 4. Easing those across again, find that's the top of this next double crochet, the stitch, and there's the stem of the stitch, and into the top of the stitch just there. And then continue doing your double crochets. Into each double crochet down the side. In fact, I may as well finish this round, and for the final round I'll set you off on that and you can catch up with me at the end of it. Okay, so we're now in the corner. 1, 2, 3, and 4 double crochets. Ease those stitches across, and then 2 chains, 1, 2, and another 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4. Find the top of that Well, actually we don't need to, because we're back, we've finished the round now. So the 2 chains here, sorry, the 3 chains represent the double crochet. So just into the top there, just have a little look. That's the double crochet, that's the top of the stitch. So the next, as long as I go under 2, you can go in like that because you get 2 still, and then slip stitch. Okay, so this is what it's looking like, and we're just going to repeat the whole thing again now. We just have more double crochets to work into. So 1, 2, 3, to the next double crochet, a double crochet. So all it is working double crochets into each stitch and working the corners as I've already shown you on the previous round. No changes at all. Okay, so I'll meet you when you're back here. Okay, so we've reached the end of the final round, and into the top of the chains do a slip stitch and then 1 chain, just snip your yarn and then just pull through, and then just weave in those ends. That little thread there will need weaving in as well. Okay, so I'll just rearrange these tiny little corner ones. Okay, so there's the main body of your angel. Okay, so the next stage is stitching them together. I'll explain to you what you need to do. Okay, so it's now time to sew these together. I weaved in the extra ends and just left the ones I'll need to sew in when I'm attaching the pieces together. Okay, so if we start with the head and attach it just here to the body, I think that would be a good start. So just find my needle. Okay. Right, so if you look, you can see the little edging, the V's of the top of your stitch. You need to have those facing you, and also for the body of your work facing you, then you know that's the right side. Although you wouldn't really be able to tell too much, but if you are particular, that's how you do it. And then just catch some little stitches here to attach the head. I'm not very good at sewing on camera because I usually have it very close to me when I sew, so I'll just give you a rough idea of how you attach. So you've got the top of the triangle in the centre just there, and then just do some little stitches to attach. I'll bring that round just here. This is just really to give you an idea of the order that I sew them together. And once you've made that secure, I think you get the idea. Just do as many little stitches as you feel that are necessary. Okay, and then just turn it over and weave in to finish off. I've perhaps not done this as securely as I would, but as I say, it's just to give you an idea. Don't pull too tightly. There we go. I'll leave that because I'll make it a little more secure afterwards. Right, so next it's attaching the wings. Now don't worry about the wings being slightly different, looking slightly different. You won't, it's really imperceptible. Yes, they both have a right and a wrong side, but you know what, you can hardly tell. And it's just a case now of, you can put these on whichever way you like. They could go on like this way. Let me get it on camera a bit better. You could attach them so they're like this, or like I do. And I'm going to attach them like so, like this. Okay, so the smooth part goes at the top. And if you look, you can kind of like nestle that fairly flat bit in there and just catch that on a few stitches. If you aim to get that little corner just in there and then sew them on, you'll get a really neat finish. I'm not going to sew them on today because I think you get the idea. As I said, that's one of the things I'm not particularly good at on camera, sewing, but there you go. You just sew them on and you end up with your little angel like so. Okay, so hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've not subscribed, it would be great if you would, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any future videos. And in the meantime, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. So take care and see you on the next video. Bye for now.